you should have like a design that just follows your tactics and not the other way around. You know, I'm not handing over, or we were always refusing when somebody was telling us, hey, here's a piece of equipment, now you need to change your tactic. No, no way. We said, my tactic does look like this. It might change in the future because our customers, they are as innovative as we are. I can't tell you how many times we were changing SOPs because we would always adapt to the scenarios.
Hi guys, welcome to another ufprogear Beer 30. And today I have a really special guest. You can guess it already from the beer stein, where he's coming from Bavaria, directly from Bavaria. Jakob Kolbeck, director of our sister company, directly from Lengries. Tell us a little bit where not just that you're coming from Lengries, but you're coming from a very specific background.
That's right. So first of all, I can see that you're not using a coaster, so we couldn't find one at ufpro. So here's the Lindnerhof version. And cool. since you're also from the southern part of Germany, you're familiar with like 1 liter beer glasses. So that's normally puzzles guys a lot. But cheers first.
Cheers. Cheers, Jakob.
Cheers. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit, like first about myself, maybe, and then like about our cooperation in terms of what we do together and stuff. So I started in the military in the year 2000, actually, in the mountain infantry, and then after quite a while, going through all these courses, you know, I have been an officer candidate first. And then, of course, you did the courses like squad leader, platoon leader, and stuff like that. And then I became a military mountain guide, like 10 months of training constantly in the mountains, and became then a Heeresbergführer. And after that, I went to university, you know, because that was part of the program. I always wanted to be a professional soldier these days. And German army required me to go to university, and I said, okay, if that's a must, then I go there. But I discovered quickly that a little bit of academic training that also helps for doing your job better, you know.
Even as a soldier.
Yeah, even as and as an officer. And later on, like during the main diploma at university, I discovered that the 𝗖𝗁𝗁𝗕𝗲𝗁𝗍, like Kommando Spezialkräfte in Germany, that would be the place to be for me.
German military special forces.
Right, the military SOF, yeah. And then I went through selection and made it, apparently, and then continued with 2 years of basic SOF training. And then I became part of the first company of 𝗖𝗁𝗁𝗕𝗲𝗁𝗍, first as an operations officer. And then they wanted me to be a sniper platoon commander, and I did the whole sniper training, like the soft sniper training, because I really did not want to be just the officer, you know, and just commanding the platoon and not really knowing what the guys are doing. But because for me, it's always important to have like hands-on knowledge before I send somebody on the mission.
That helps a lot.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah, I discovered the same. Yeah. So I went through all the trainings and stuff like that, and then have been deployed to Afghanistan 2 times, one shorter session in Mali and things like that. And that was about it. Yeah, so that was my time in the military. And was
so you've been to Mali already?
Yes.
Wow. When was that?
That was in 2010. So there was an international special operations. It was kind of a training. It was 6 weeks. And we were there like on the really southern edge of the Sahara Desert, and we have been there like in April and May, and I really wish I would have your apparel those days, because you could imagine we were like sweating our off. 64 degrees Celsius outside in the shade. on
No
some days.
kidding.
Yeah, and we had days where we had like after 18 liters of water, I stopped counting. Yeah, because we had no client.
18 liters.
Yeah. Of course, you have at some point of time you have to mix it with like salt tablets.
How do you go on a let's say on a recognition? I mean, if you're walking on a foot patrol, could you even do that? 18 liters of water? Who would carry that much water?
Yeah, that's the problem. So I like having had these experiences there and in that climatic conditions, I would dare to go out on a mission for like, I don't know, 1 week with no resupply possible whatsoever. So that's simply just not possible, because just imagine these 18 liters of water you need to carry. By carrying it, you spend or you consume a lot more water.
And it's not the only thing that you're carrying.
Exactly, yeah. All the equipment, ammunitions, batteries and stuff like that. So at that point of time, that is really a situation where you believe in good gear.
There was I had a talk a couple of weeks ago with a guy who is working in Africa. He's working as an instructor for rangers. Mm-hmm. And what he says is that these Zulu warriors, the only thing that they have, and they live in the deserts, they live in the bush, they have shorts, a t-shirt, a gun and ammo.
That's it.
That's what they have.
And the rest they need to find.
Yeah, exactly. So that's for me, that's so amazing. If you see then these two totally opposite approaches. We Westerners carrying everything with us, and those guys, just going out there with the essential, and the essential thing is a gun.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same situation also in Afghanistan. You at the end of the day you are encountered with like dudes that just wear their, I don't know, whatever, like, I don't know, plain clothes, and they have a chest rig with 3 or 4 magazines for the AK, and they wear flip-flops, and they outrun you, because you have like the gear you get supplied with, like it's most of the times it's the cheapest supplier.
Absolutely. I mean, remember the stories from Vietnam when the Vietnam Cotton. I mean, they went with pajamas and flip-flops and AK-47. That's what they had.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were beating a high-tech army.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's still the case. That's still the case. If you see what is happening, then this is really amazing.
Yeah. And like I don't know, coming back to gear, and that was really the point where I got the message. Okay, you need to be lightweight.
Yeah.
So speed is everything. Because I don't know, hunting somebody down, tracking somebody who is on the run and stuff like that. You can't be humbled with like clumsy equipment, heavy equipment that's just leading nowhere. It's so exhausting because you're fighting your gear and your apparel plus the enemy, plus the environment, and then
everything sucks energy out of you.
Exactly.
And then in the end, you come to the situation you are already on low battery, and you totally lose your awareness. You are not here in the moment anymore. Your reaction sucks. Everything sucks, and you're easy prey.
Yeah, it is like it is, and then there's Mr. Murphy, and shit happens the moment you cannot have it.
Yeah. But you can be sure that it will happen.
Yeah.
And what brought you then to Linderhof-Taktik?
Yeah, that was interesting because like the founder of the company, Joseph, so he's an old friend of mine, and at some point I've been...
you met already at 𝗖𝗁𝗂?
No, because he was way out of 𝗖𝗁𝗂. And so no, the year he left, I entered actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he did a bit of like commercial training then and founded his company. Mm-hmm. But I had to go through until 2013, like my military career still at 𝗖𝗁𝗂. And after that, we had like a loose relationship. But so he did his business. I was in a completely new environment. Commercial life is other than military
culture
life.
Shock.
A little bit of culture shock, And at some point of time, he asked me if I want or could imagine to be CEO of Lindnerhof. and that was the time when I decided, okay, it's about the right time. And my aspect is always, can I contribute to the company I'm working for? And if not, then I'm not going to work for this company, because it doesn't make sense, And at that point of time, of course, equipment-wise, from just the perspective you're looking at your products, that was something I could contribute. And then I also have always to identify with the quality goals of the company. I'm not going to work for a company that's just producing shit. And that also matched, and that was
as you were saying that, for me, when we starting to create ufPro and then we were getting successful with ufPro, I always watched from a distance. I always watched Linderhof-Taktik. So I always thought, well, they are really doing great stuff. So I felt that there is the same kind of quality approach, that same kind of attention on details like we have it in ufPro. So I always thought, well, if I could imagine a cooperation, then I think it would be Linderhof that I would like to cooperate with. So it took some years, and now we're here. We're here.
Being part of we can proudly say, a group of experts. And,
absolutely.
And as far as, we share the same opinion. We have a perfect match between Lindnerhof and ufPro, and that's a good sign for the future. Because to some extent, everybody is a specialist for his own products. You do take the apparel part, and I'm the gear part. But I think our main goal must be to find the interface.
Especially in our cases. You're making the gear, you're making actually everything which is on top of our stuff.
Yes.
Or at least combined in a way with our gear. So of course, if there is such a close relationship, then of course you say, well, I wonder if there is room for improvement.
Yeah.
If it is an interface, then you always know that the interface can always be better.
Yeah. And as I said before, I have encountered so many situations where you just had to wear the equipment because it was there, it was standard army issue, whatever. And then you suddenly, at some point of time when you are like a trained user, you find out, okay, does this match, or is that just bought separately? And then the next year they buy this and it doesn't really fit together. And at that point of time, I think we could kick in for the future and say, okay, let's talk about interfaces, let's talk about the perfect system. So as I said in the very few videos we did already, as Lindnerhof, because we discovered marketing after 15 years with an existing company, but it helps.
It helps if people know that you're good.
Yeah.
And somebody has to tell it to them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And at that point of time, we say, okay, I think in systems. I always say that, yeah. But at the end of the day, we still need to make it happen at some point of time.
The good thing is that we can make it happen.
Yeah.
I think the big challenge is on the customer side. So, and here I'm talking about organizations. I'm not talking about individuals, because the individual already makes a system choice. So he selects components which fit together nicely and do a perfect job. I think the trouble is more in the procurement of organizations, because I encounter a lot of times that procurement for gear like pouches, body armor, plate carriers, whatever, it's done by a different group within the organization than the garments.
Exactly.
So it's always split projects.
Yeah.
It's projects which have their own title, which have their own budget, and they are purchased separately. So I hope that we will manage in the future, not just to optimize the interface, to optimize the system, but that we could also convince the customers, the organizations, that it always has to be a system decision. Not just an individual, oh yeah, I buy the pants there, I buy the pouches there, and I buy the plate carrier there. So, because then you're just putting things together which they might do the job in a certain way. Might.
Yeah.
But I mean, like we said already before, if we know that we are already as organizations in hostile territory carrying a burden with us compared to these Zulu warriors or compared to these Talibans, then at least everything has to work perfectly.
Yes.
To enable you to come out of that situation as the winner.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not
And
as a loser.
Yeah, and not just being there. Now he's gone. Why? Because I was too slow. Yeah. Or there's somebody lying on the ground getting shot. Yeah, because I was too slow. Couldn't react. Yeah, I was completely drained because it was so exhausting for me to fulfill my mission with the existing gear. That's not the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah? That's not the point. So it's like bringing like law enforcement and military organizations forward in terms of providing a setup that is harmonized. Yeah. And like we have a couple of interfaces, a ton of interfaces.
Absolutely.
You know? We have belts that need to be included into trousers. We have plate carriers that need to be harmonized together with combat shirts. You know, there's we have a ton of topics. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and they define. I mean, that interface I encounter, and the combat shirt is one of the typical examples. I mean, you are facing here two mindsets. One is the plate carrier and the other is us from the combat shirts. So you want to make your plate carriers as light, as durable as possible, and by making that, you're making our natural enemy.
Yeah.
Because you're abrading all the comfortable materials that we were selecting for our combat shirt in order to make it fast drying, comfortable to wear, excellent moisture managing. It's just not going together.
Yeah.
So there is so much room for improvement, and I'm looking so much forward to that, because that
this is going to be great, you know. And you know, and for me it's always so. What will be the next solutions? So I'm not talking about like tomorrow's development. You know, we're doing, I don't know, at Lindnerhof we're doing 1,000 item codes per year. Just it could be new developments or just I don't know, just 1,000, or just slight adjustments to an existing product. You know, but it's a ton of stuff. But that's just for us. It's just daily business. What I'm talking about. Where will we together be in 5 years' time? How will the perfect, like when I'm talking about my product range, how will the perfect fitting plate carrier look like in the future? Yeah? And this is going to be exciting. So I'm really, since we have been talking about this a couple of times already, so I'm really excited about this. Yeah.
And we made already a great first step, which is the Lindnerhof BDU.
Yeah.
So battle dress uniform.
Yeah.
That's where we really put our brain power together.
Yeah.
Maybe you describe a little bit from your perspective how that was created.
Yeah. So first of all, it started with ufprogear. It started with ufprogear because there we believed and still believe we have a partner that has decent knowledge and expertise in terms of military and law enforcement apparel. That's first. And we started in the past making our own apparel, you know, for the 𝗔𝗯𝐸𝐺 𝗕𝗲𝗿. We did the BDU and stuff. And to be honest, it's different to make plate carriers and pouches, and then, okay, let's do apparel. Yeah, that's a complete different story.
I think a lot of companies which are in one or the other sector totally underestimate how much knowledge is in the other sector.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks, like me, I would think, well, you know, making a pouch, that should be easy. I guess it was the same on your end. But there is, and that is typical for textiles. There is so much knowledge in the detail.
It is.
And if you don't know it, it's set up for failure.
Yeah, it's just a simple what the customer can see when he's looking up websites on apparel. it's a sizing chart. Okay, it's a sizing chart. You can look that up on every producer's website.
Absolutely.
But the devil is in the detail, you know. So how is that cut defined and stuff like that? And to some point of so that was way before my time when Lindnerhof started looking at this BDU topic, and by the time I entered the company, we quickly decided we will not continue this. So on our own, you know. So just keep focus. Our core business is like military or tactical gear, you know. And that's about it. But I'm so happy that we found like a development partner with ufprogear, where we could just look at existing models, and just decide, okay, what do we really need? And so we did this like from a really like military special operations perspective. So I'm fully with you when you're saying, okay, the law enforcement guys, you know, they need an extra pouch here because maybe they have a mobile phone they have to use on duty, or need, I don't know, 3 different pouches on the upper leg, you know, because they have to stuff all the gear. Like, but this is, these are requirements. A special operations guy in terms of military use, he doesn't have. So, and from that perspective, we have been looking at it, you know, and you can also see that like when you look at our existing products, so they're getting cleaner and cleaner. When you look at my example is always just imagine you look at the war belt that was designed like 5 years ago. So. It was made from Cordura. It was like 2 or 3 layers. You put webbing to attach according to the MOLLE standard, be able to attach pouches and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, you were just applying a buckle, and it was then, So today I would say, okay, these pieces of equipment, they're just clumsy, you know. It gets slimmer and slimmer.
Totally outdated.
Yeah. So those days there was for sure there was a time in the market, and it was okay, you know. And it was those days it was good, but it's always this. It's not something for Lindnerhof to stay okay. We stay here where we are, and we do not continue. So we always continue. And
I think this is good. I think this is good that there is companies like you, there are companies like us, there are a couple of other companies that really have a vision about their products, because that is working like a catalyzer also for the organizations.
Absolutely.
Because the organizations are usually always historically oriented. So they always think about what did we have in the past, and how could we make that slightly better.
Yeah, exactly.
But what they're missing is, you know, that expertise of somebody who knows both worlds and creates a vision for the future product, for the future BDU, for the future plate carrier. So that is, and I think that is important. And only like this we can really make these quantum leaps, which I think the normal soldier who suffers under all that gear, he expects from us, from you, and from us that we're bringing solutions to the table, which are much better, which really help him.
Absolutely, and solution in terms of systems, you know, and that was the reason why we said, okay, so we have now an ultralight plate carrier that was in the pipeline. It was in the pipeline for 2 years. Okay, we got a new laminate designed, MX it's called, you know, and that's about. So we had like our orientation to the new design, you know, plain design, no like triple layers of webbing whatsoever, just make it lightweight and stuff like that. And then of course it was just logic to look on apparel also, you know.
Right.
And we're not saying that you can't buy a standard Striker XT. I can't tell how many guys in our company are running around with your pants because they appreciated them. But we wanted to have something that is stripped down.
Your spirit, which breathes Linderhof-Taktik.
Yeah, it's just you should have like a design that just follows your tactics and not the other way around. You know, I'm not handing over, or we were always refusing when somebody was telling us, hey, here's a piece of equipment, now you need to change your tactic. No, no way. We see my tactic does look like this. It might change in the future because our customers, they are as innovative as we are. I can't tell you how many times we were changing SOPs because we would always adapt to the scenarios. Like I've been to Afghanistan in 2009 and I came back in 2011 and the scenario and the ways of operation, the things we did and the way we did the things, it completely was 180% opposite.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course I need to follow these customers because I'm always focusing on, we always say, let's say the athlete, could be military, could be law enforcement, yeah, and that's our focal point. You know, we want to address these guys, and that was also the reason why we were like starting talking to you, and luckily Joseph and you find a perfect match, and what came out is pretty cool, I suppose. You know,
yeah.
And that's also like. You know, the way we designed, or you designed actually the knee section of the new pants, yeah. Of course, we have encountered it many times before in the past. You fell in love with, I don't know, this and that producer of knee protection. Yeah. Of course, because it fitted you, I don't know how many times in operations. So, and now we said, yeah, but let's give this guy the opportunity to use them still, but wear my pants, you know. I'm not going there and say, hey, now I have the perfect version of knee protection. If you are happy with the existing one, then just plug it in and it fits.
That's great, because actually you want that guy to wear his favorite pants and his favorite knee protection. And if that is from different companies, let it be so.
Yeah. So I couldn't care less because I don't earn money and you don't on the knee protection. You know.
Well, we do.
quite. Yeah. But for me, or for us, the aspect was be able to provide a perfect system that is adaptive to some extent, of course. Yeah. So to some extent. Yeah. So there are. You explained it perfectly. You know, the hip section, the belt section of the pants. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't do it any better. So why should I go there and say, Armin, we need to change that because I wanted to have it more modular, but the more modular then doesn't make sense, you know. No, and so like change things that make sense to be changed, and the rest that is running perfectly already. Yeah, just leave that. You know, of course we would be stupid if we just skip that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the great thing that we can bring our expertises together without being afraid that one is taking from the other one the business away, because we're in the same group of companies.
Of course.
So at the end, it anyhow lands in the same basket.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that is really great. So what both of us, I think, are really looking forward to is that next system. What, you know, if I'm looking down the road, then I think that might be something which is going to take us another 2-3 years.
Yes.
So I think if you guys have the patience and stay with us until then, I think we can promise you already then a great system which is really going to solve a lot of the problems. So you don't need to have 18 liters of water anymore. So not the 70 kilos in your backpack.
Yeah. Torn crotches because the pants were wet and you wanted to step into the vehicle.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we make Zulu warriors out of all of you. So,
find your own water. You don't need to live in the Sahara.
In the middle of the Sahara.
Have fun.
Great. I think that's a great perspective.
Yes, and of course for us, you know, for us it's also where can we differentiate to make the point to be better, to be the best, and for us that includes also like new raw materials. I'm sure we need to look at in that direction also. It's not the new design or stuff like that. So we really have to find these and that company that produces the stuff according to our specifications. You know, that we do a great job together.
Yeah. That's one of the beauties being in such a strong group, is that from different perspectives, all of us are working with textiles.
Yeah.
So you might come across something which might not be the ideal product for you, but it might be really great from us.
Exactly.
You only have to know what we need, and this is how. As soon as you start talking together, you understand each other, and then you also can pass the balls and say, well, why didn't you try this? This might make sense for you. It didn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
So,
identify interfaces and
absolutely.
exchange. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I think that was a great conversation with. I hope that we didn't disclose too many trade secrets.
We forgot about that.
Okay, shit. So you all have to sign non-disclosures before watching that, or you promise you don't tell anybody. So it was great. I hope you enjoyed it the same. I mean, I really enjoyed that conversation. Stay tuned. I hope you join us for one of our next. I'm already stuttering from the beer. What did you bring to me?
Yeah, the good one.
The good one, Augustiner. So cheers, guys. Hope you join us the next time for our next Beer 30. Jakob, great having you here.
Thanks for the invitation.
Cheers.
And guys, thanks for watching. Cheers.
Bye.